Literally thousands of tons of food and plant waste is buried in U.S. landfills every day. But one innovative company in the heartland is turning waste into life. Let's join our field reporter Kyle Stanley to learn more.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Kyle.
Hi Kyle, good to meet you. Stan Slaughter.
Stan, you must be Stan the compost man.
So they tell me. I've been playing in the dirt for a lot of years.
Cool.
What do you think?
Oh, it's beautiful. So what exactly do you do here?
Well, I'm involved in education and outreach. When people call about starting a garden or how to apply compost, or possibly don't understand what to do next, that's my job. So I get to go out and meet a lot of cool people and look at their gardens and coach them into getting that productive. And of course, one of the big answers is compost.
So Stan, what's at the core of your educational mission here?
It's a phrase I call organic literacy, because we want kids to know about the way the world works. People today are kind of disconnected from the farm, don't always know where their food comes from, don't know where it goes, and our operation here actually completes the cycle. And so when I can go teach about composting, it's thrilling for me, because I get to see, that first, if maybe kids will compost some food scraps in the classroom with worms, and then take the worm compost and put it in the pots and grow plants, and they see the cycle of life for the first time.
That's great.
And they don't own a farm, and can't go do that in person, but they can do it in a classroom setting.
Plants the seed.
Absolutely, literally.
So what do we got going on here?
So Kyle, you're at the the food waste composting operation now. This is where we do about 300 tons a week at this facility of material just like this.
Wow.
And we figure in Kansas City, we're only doing somewhere between 5 and 10% of that food waste that's out there.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
This all comes from local grocery stores?
So this is all coming from local grocery stores, restaurants, cafeterias, we got about 250 customers altogether. So we're collecting in trucks, on routes, source-separated food waste.
And this is only 10%.
This is 10% or less of what the waste stream is out there to be composted and recycled.
That's incredible.
So it's a shame that any of this stuff ends up in landfills. And even with the material that we produce, we take and we compost, the best thing that happens to this material is that it won't end up in a landfill. It'll get composted, it'll go back to a farm where it makes more food, where the food ends up on the table, where the food actually ends up back here, whatever doesn't get eaten ends up back here to compost, and then goes back to the farm. So you complete this circle, farm to table to compost to farm, and you're avoiding any of the bad things that can happen when this stuff ends in the landfill.
There's just a ton of food here. What's the typical issue with most of this stuff?
Well, most of the time it's a date. Most of the time the date is that's out of date, period. So once the manufacturer says that it's out of date and it can't be used or sold, then it has to go to compost. So that's really the issue with most. Now, when we take the material to the food bank will actually decide whether it's edible or not, and then they will be the ones that actually call out what they can feed and what they can distribute, and then the rest of it will come here. So this material that's coming here has already been called to be able to feed people, and then actually we'll make compost out of it second. So Kyle, this is a pile of food waste that's come from our route service. So grocery stores, cafeterias, food processors, all this material is picked up 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And it comes in a truck like this. And what you're seeing here is a load that comes from those locations. This is the challenge for us though. So when we get this food waste in, this material is supposed to be separated at the source. So it's supposed to come to us clean. Well, as you can see with this, you've got packaging here wrapped around this melon. And this has to come off. The question is do you do it before the compost process or after the process? Right now, this material goes into the compost row, gets composted, and then gets pulled out with screeners and air separators and pickers at the end. We've got a new machine that we're getting ready to put in. It's called the Tiger Depackager. This material will go into that machine first, and then the packaging will be separated from the food. So that makes this whole operation a lot cleaner, but it is a huge expense, and this is a challenge for us every day as a contamination.
Right, so what do you do with all the packaging? It looks like there's a ton of it.
Yeah, so even my stuff like this, if it can be recycled, we'll recycle it, or otherwise it goes waste to energy, or last case scenario is landfill. And as a company, we only landfill about 1/10% of the tonnage we handle every week.
Wow, so pretty much nothing goes to waste.
Pretty much. Wow. Very little, that's the idea.
Yeah.
This is the material that gets screened out of the process at the end. So the compost process goes on for so long, and then we actually screen this material out. Now this material will end up going back into the process over and over again, and as you can see with the plastic that's in it, that plastic continues to go through the process time and time again. So what you're looking at is about 6, 7, 8 years of contamination buildup.
This is our Nature Wise. This is the basic compost we use in our soil mixes and garden mixes. Really good soil would be 5 or 6% organic matter. This is 30. If we burned it, 30% of it would disappear. The rest is minerals. So this is a big jump start in fertility that we get to give. And see, this increases the water holding capacity. It increases the plant food. It's made from yard waste, so there's a lot of leaves in it, and leaves are chemical factories. They're a concentrated vitamin pill for the soil, and then all that food waste and all that great nutrition that we missed out on, we get it back here, and that's what makes the compost really pop.
Well, Kevin, Stan, thank you guys so much for having us out today. I've learned a ton.
It's quite a process, isn't it?
Oh, it's very impressive.
Well, we appreciate you coming out and helping us spread the word about organics, trying to keep food waste out of landfills. Really appreciate that.
Absolutely, you guys are doing good stuff here.
You spread the word, we'll spread the compost.
Deal.
Sounds great.